You leave the meeting, get in your car, and one moment keeps replaying. Your manager asked you a question. Before you could answer, a coworker jumped in. She probably didn't account for the vendor delay. What she means is, and then they kept talking about your work while you sat 3 feet away. You did not say anything because stopping them felt awkward. But afterward, one thought bothers you. Why did I let someone else become the person explaining me? And this is where the replay usually turns into overcorrection. You imagine interrupting harder, talking louder, making sure nobody ever speaks for you again. That is not the goal. The goal is to catch the exact moment your answer stops being yours without turning every shared conversation into a fight for the microphone. Go back to the exact moment your manager asks, "Why did the timeline change?" Your coworker starts answering for you. This is the first decision point. Do not wait until they finish a 2-minute explanation and then try to repair everything. Say, "I can answer that." That is enough. You are not demanding the room's attention. You are taking responsibility for an answer that was directed to you. But now the real question begins. What if the other person actually has useful context? Because not everyone who adds information is disrespecting you. There is a difference between someone supplementing your answer and someone replacing your voice. Run the scene again. You answer, "The timeline changed because the vendor moved approval to Friday." Then your coworker adds, "And legal also needs 1 more day after that." That may be useful. You do not need to fight for ownership of every sentence. They added information after you answered. They did not decide what you meant for you. Now change one detail. Your manager asks you the same question. Before you answer, your coworker says, "She changed it because she didn't plan the handoff correctly." That is different. They are not adding context. They are giving the room a version of your decision before you have given your own. "I can't answer that." Then answer. That is the first reconstruction. Now look at the second point where people lose themselves. Sometimes you do get to speak, but someone rewrites your meaning while you are still there. You say, "I think we should delay the launch until the security review is complete." Someone cuts in with, "What she means is, she's not comfortable taking the risk." That may sound close, but it changes your position from a recommendation about the project into a judgment about your confidence. Do not defend your whole personality. Correct the inaccurate part. Do not correct every harmless word choices. Correct the part that changes the decision, the responsibility, or what you actually believe. That's not what I mean. I'm recommending we finish the security review before launch. Then stop correcting. If you turn that into a speech about how comfortable you are with risk, they have already moved you away from the decision. The third reconstruction is more personal. A relative asks you directly, "Are you really moving to Denver?" Before you answer, a parent says, "He hasn't thought it through." He gets excited about things. Now the cost is not just airtime. Someone else is claiming authority over a decision that belongs to you. You can say, "I'll answer for that." Then give your answer to the person who asked. You do not need to prove that you are a responsible adult. You need to keep your decision attached to the person who actually owns it. That distinction matters. Sometimes the disrespect is not that another person spoke. It is that their version starts functioning as the official version, because yours never enters the conversation. Power can make this harder. If a senior person repeatedly answers questions about your work before you can speak, challenging every interruption in real time may turn the meeting into a fight over airtime. So change the method, not the goal. Reclaim the answer when it matters. I can take that one. And make sure your actual position exists clearly afterward. A brief follow-up can say what you recommended, what you own, and what decision was made. That is not about collecting evidence against a coworker. It keeps your work and your reasoning from being represented only through someone else's voice. If the pattern continues, address the pattern directly and privately. When a question is directed to me, I need to answer it before someone else steps in. That is a specific change in behavior. No speech about respect required. And there is an important counter case. Sometimes someone else really is the right person to answer. Maybe they own that part of the project. Maybe you agreed they would present for the team. Maybe the question is technical and they have the expertise you do not. Letting the right person answer is not making yourself smaller. The test is simple. Was the handoff appropriate? Or did someone take ownership of your answer, your position, or your decision without your agreement? That is what you protect. Not every second of airtime, not the need to look important, your authorship. The next time you hear someone start explaining you while you are standing right there, you do not need a perfect comeback. Start with, I can answer that. Then decide what was actually taken, information, meaning, or decision ownership. Which one bothers you most? Someone answering for you, changing what you meant, or making a decision sound like it was theirs to explain.